What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Now today, hey, we're finally back with a cricket match review, and oh man, are we coming back here with a great game to review here. India versus the Kiwis in the first of 3 ODIs. And oh baby, did this live up to as much as you could really hope for in any sort of ODI match. A double century, a fighting century on the other hand, some incredible bowling, some good fielding, just an overall really good match of cricket. So hey, if you guys are new, subscribe, leave a like, and comment down below your opinions on this game. Hey, we're going to jump straight into it. India and the Kiwis. Oh man. India win by 12 runs, and this is, you know, all of the talk about ODI cricket and people asking, is ODI cricket dying? Is it dead? You know, do people even care about the format anymore? Yes, this is why. This is why ODI cricket has a spot in the 3 formats. This is why it will forever be a legendary format, because it's a mixture of T20, but it's also a mixture of test cricket, and you've got to bring both of them skill sets and put it into one format. If anything, it's almost the hardest format at times, especially when, I would say test match batting's probably a bit harder, but, you know, to have that pressure of 50 overs, especially of someone who may be at the top of the order, you know, you want to play into your innings, but you've also only got 50 overs, so you have to be keeping the run rate moving, you have to be hitting runs. It's a really tough format to be good at and to do really well in, and this is why it's forever going to be a legendary format. Let's jump into it, everyone. Player of the match, of course, Shubman Gill, 208 off 149 deliveries. Just Shubman, I mean, just beautiful shots. It's what he does. Consistency is his thing, and this is why he is letting the selectors know. ODI World Cup this year, not only should you have him in the squad, but you'd almost, if the World Cup was next week, Shubman Gill is probably the starting opener at the World Cup with Rohit Sharma. I don't know how you would deny him a position in the team. Look, we all know how good KL Rahul can be, especially on home pitches, but man, if Shubman Gill keeps doing stuff like this and keeps proving his consistency and just his ability to play an amazing innings with calmness and just beautiful cricket shots, it's going to be tough for KL Rahul to keep his spot with someone like Shubman banging down the absolute door. All right, let's jump into it. India they won the toss and actually sent themselves into bat here down at beautiful Hyderabad. A nice crowd filled at the stadium as well. Let's jump into it. Rohit Sharma. Well, let's actually speak about the first few overs. They had... Let's go into the bowling unit quickly. So they had Henry Shipley, who was playing, I believe it was his second ODI match ever. So a little bit of inexperience. And also Blair Tickner. Now, interesting last name, okay, whatever. But I think he's only played about 7 to 8 ODI matches himself. So a little bit inexperienced coming into this match. You know, they didn't really go in with a specialized spinner as well. You know, Santner, Bracewell, I mean, yes, but no, they're more like part-timers, really. So, well, Santner, half and half. I think Santner's more of a bowling all-rounder, but he's not, you know, he's not your Ish Sodhi or anyone else that they could have taken. So, a little bit of inexperience early was showing. I mean, a few wides were early. Rohit Sharma really just took advantage of it early, and the loose deliveries that were getting bowled by Tickner and Shipley. Unfortunately, played a pretty shitty shot, to be honest, got himself out, it went straight up. And this just seems to be a common occurrence with Rohit Sharma recently. You know, he gets a lot of these 30s, 40s, 25s, 27s, and then he plays a silly shot and goes out. Now, I don't know if the skipper is saving all of this, you know, extra power for the World Cup, but I tell you what, you'd probably want to see a little bit of promising form out of Rohit Sharma before the World Cup. I mean, especially as the skipper. But anyway, played a silly shot, got himself out. Virat Kohli, well, he had to come to the crease at number 3. And someone who obviously is coming off a 160 something in the last match. He's feeling quite confident, feeling pretty good. Not today. Not today. Mitchell Santner gets him with an absolute hurler of a delivery. Kohli just really didn't read the straight one. I think Kohli thought it was going to, spin a little bit more. It was going to spin out, and he was trying to, push it onto the offside. It went straight through him, took all of the bloody stumps, and he was gone there. So Kohli goes. You're under a little bit of the pump early. Tell you what, lucky that they had someone who made 208. Otherwise, this could have been dangerous. Ishan Kishan, he goes for 5. It was just a good delivery from Ferguson. Was too quick for him. Edged behind to Latham. Surya Kumar Yadav. I think it's weird for him to bat at 5. I understand that when wickets fall early, the last thing you want to do is bring out Surya, especially when he's more of a take advantage of the middle overs sort of player. But he's pretty good. He's good enough to come out at like 4 or 3. And I would have had Ishan at maybe 5 and then Surya at 4. I think that's just sort of the combination you'd want to go with. But he makes a little 31. It's serviceable, but again, just needed someone to stay out there with Shubman and build a massive partnership. We will get back to Shubman in a moment, don't you worry, but we're just going to finish off the rest here. Hardik Pandya, he gets bowled for 28. Sundar for 12. Takua went for 3. Takua got caught ball watching. He ran himself out. He was just, he brought to the crease. Obviously, he had something else on his mind, like, I got no idea, something, maybe a movie or whatever, but, or the next meal, what he was going to eat at lunch break, but he just stayed at the other end and said, oh, it looks like I'm out, back I go. He had no idea what was happening until Shubman Gill ran up the other end and said, hey, you're probably meant to go down the other end, mate, and then he realised, yeah, I'm done here. So that was all Takua wrote. Kuldeep 5, Shami 2, but again, it wasn't amazing batting from anyone else in this team but Shubman Gill. And just a little statistic that I want to talk about with you all that I've got up here. So how about this? This is kind of a little bit not creepy, but it's a little bit weird if you ask me. So it was a 6. He hit a 6 to bring up his half century. Whatever, cool. He then hit a 6 to get to 99. So, look, it would have been a little bit better if it was to get to 100, but still pretty close. So, I just hit my microphone. I hope no one heard that. So, he got a 6 to make 99. He then hit a 6 to bring up 150. And, oh, wait, he then hit a 6 to bring up 200. So, as I try and make sure my mic is plugged in, that's good to see. He hit a 6 to bring up every major milestone in his innings. I mean, a 99 is technically 100 as well, right? So, we're going to count that. I mean, that is just one of the most, weirdest statistics that he can, bring up a 6 on every single ball to bring up a milestone. And speaking of them 6s, he was just punishing everything down the ground. I don't know what the game plan was from some of the Kiwi bowlers. It seemed like the only Kiwi bowler who knew how to bowl properly to him was Lockie Ferguson. And how you bowl to him? You bowl a body length, you bowl straight. Well, not too straight, of course. You didn't never want to bowl too straight. But you want to bowl a body length, and you want to try and bowl as full as possible so he can't drive it or at least pick it up and put it to wherever he wants around the ground. When it's full, he's not the sort of guy who's going to do a Surya Kumar 360 ninja jump and turn it somehow to the boundary. Like, that's just not his game style. So, I thought they needed to fix up their bowling a little bit. And that is pretty much it. I don't think I have much more in the notes here. This is something that we should speak about. We have to talk about this. Hardik Pandya went out, bowled by Daryl Mitchell. Now, if you weren't watching the match, you're thinking, okay, whatever. But if you see the replay and actually what happened, the soft signal, I believe, was out. So they just gave it out. But they then showed on replay that the ball did not hit the stumps. In fact, I don't think anything hit the stumps. It's just like the bail jumped off the stump, or maybe Daryl Mitchell's glove like tapped it and then it went off, because to be honest, I did not see the ball hit the bail at all. And the snicko didn't show really anything either. It was an interesting third umpire decision, but hey, that's cricket, man. You get robbed by the third umpire. It happens all the time, eh? Anyways, let's jump into the Kiwi bowlers. Henry Shipley, I thought he actually did okay for someone in his second match. Started off pretty poor, but came good at the end. Lockie Ferguson, I actually thought he was probably their best pace bowler, I thought. Even though Daryl Mitchell took 2 for 30, so that's probably wrong, but I did think Ferguson bowled okay. 1 for 77 off 10. Tickner, 1 for 69 off 10. Shout out to Johnny Sins. Mitchell Santner, 1 for 56 off 10. Bracewell, none for 43 off 6. And Daryl Mitchell, who took 2 pretty big wickets in the end, didn't he? Pandya, if it was even out, and Surya Kumar. So, took 2 really big wickets, did the part-timer in Daryl Mitchell, and yeah, I mean, looking at the fall of wickets here as well, you can see that they just needed someone to stabilise the innings. Isham went out, Surya went out, and then it was really, who was it? So it must have been like a Pandya. I mean, Shubman Gill had to play a partnership with everyone in the team, so it's not like there were any game-changing partnerships. All right, time to jump into the Kiwis. 350 to chase down as I get my notes up there. There we go. Beautiful. That's right. I'm always prepared with notes. All right. Kiwis. Finn Allen started really well. And I think he's gonna be such a big asset in the IPL this year for RCB. I hope they play him as much as possible because he's pretty fun to watch, and we've seen the ability that he has. Just remembering what Finn Allen can do, I think back to the first game, the opening game of the T20 World Cup last year, and Finn Allen against Australia, he smacked like 65 off 27 or something, and I'm thinking, oh brother, if he can do it here, and he's done it in India, I'm a little bit worried for what he might produce in the future. So the Kiwis have got themselves a 2 to 3 format player for the next, I don't know, how old is he? I'm going to say 25, 24? Can't be much older than that. 23, so we're close. There he is, the little tiger. RCB in, of course. Look, so he's young. He's got the whole future ahead of him for the Kiwis. Devon Conway, he goes for 10. Henry Nicholls. Henry Nicholls, I'm sorry, man, but you just got one of the greatest deliveries ever. Kuldeep Yadav is him, and Kuldeep, I'm just so happy to see the man do good again. You know, when he got dropped after that test match against Bangladesh, was it? And then I think he got dropped against Sri Lanka after like 1 ODI, I think it was as well. So the man Kuldeep, he gets done dirty by the selectors, but he rightfully deserves his position in this white ball team, and when the World Cup comes around, he's going to be right at the front of selection. Him, Ashwin, Chahal, Axar. There's going to be a lot of names fighting for that position, you know, of the 2/3 spinners, but I don't see why Kuldeep would be excluded. The way that he can pitch the ball out wide and then just to get the ball to come back in is ridiculous. It catches everyone out. And then of his next delivery to Daryl Mitchell, it was unplayable. I mean, it just kept low and it went straight into his pad. Daryl Mitchell reviewed it. You shouldn't have wasted a review. You should have walked back and maybe, you know, gave a cheeky little wax on your bald head. But to see what's going on in the brains department, because there was no review there. You were plumb. Anyways, moving on from that, Tommy Latham. Look, he came out with a bit of intent, but just needed someone to build something. I mean, it shouldn't take all the way down the order to damn Michael Bracewell to carry the team to any sort of chance. But Glenn Phillips as well, Muhammad Shami. Muhammad Shami, got injured. He tried to get a caught and bowled off Finn Allen, I think it was, and then it like smacked him right in the palm and the finger and the thumb. And obviously that hurts like a motherfucker when it, comes straight at your hand when you're bowling and you're that close to the batsman. So he went off for some overs, got a couple of, jabs into it or whatever, and came back out and then bowled an absolute beauty to Glenn Phillips and bowled him. And that was a big breakthrough. Glenn Phillips is all class, of course. But let's get into it. Michael Bracewell. Some of you may be asking who. If you're a casual, that is. But hey, if you know cricket, you may know who this man is. Michael Bracewell, the part-time... No, I was going to say a part-time bowler, but he's probably more than that. He's more of an all-rounder. After this performance, he's probably a batting all-rounder. 140 off 78 deliveries. 12 fours, but wait for this, 10 sixes. The rest of his team hit 3 sixes combined, and he hit 10 by himself. Yowza. He also hit 12 fours. The rest of his team hit 1 8. Okay, so a few more than him, but damn, I mean, he accounted for half of the team's bloody runs. In fact, he accounted for probably 2.5 quarters of them. And to be fair, they didn't really know how to bowl to him at times. It seems like only Siraj was the only bowler who kind of caught on how to bowl to him late. Don't bowl short and try and bowl as straight as possible was kind of the thing, like try and angle it in, because they kept trying to put it out wide, and especially the spinners. Michael Bracewell is just a phenomenal player of spin, and Kuldeep Yadav and Washington Sundar got taken to the cleaners by Bracewell, and it was that got them back into the game, was Bracewell smacking all the spinners around the park. Some of the shots that he played straight down the ground are just some of the best shots you will literally ever see down the ground. Like, they kept trying to throw it out wide to him and try and get him to, either get out of his crease and get stumped, or to try and get the ball to come back in. He just read it every single time, skipped out to it, and put it over the rope for 6 more. Incredible knock from him. Unfortunately, just couldn't get anyone to go with him. He got Mitchell Santner 57, which was, very helpful, but just not enough. Just not enough in the end. Found himself out in the 48th over, and it was pretty much game over when he lost the partner. Bracewell kept going. I mean, the last over from Takua, he hit like a 6 off the first ball, I think it was, and I started to get like a little bit like, oh shit, he's about to do this, isn't he? Because he needed like, I think it was 22 off the last over or something like that, and he was hitting them pretty well. Got very, very close, then got LBW by Takua to finish off the game. So hey, that is how this one finishes off. Into the bowling, Muhammad Shami, 1 for 69. Again, shout out the Mr. Sins. Siraj, he's incredible, Siraj. He bowled like 14 dot balls in the last, like, I think out of his last, like, 18 deliveries, like 14 of them were dot balls or something. I think I read a statistic last night, I think. Hopefully I'm not wrong. I'll edit that out anyway if it's wrong. But yeah, just phenomenal at the depth, and he was the only one who, again, really understood how to actually bowl to the Bracewell late in the match as well. So he's phenomenal. His trick bag is getting a lot bigger. His plans, his variation, just his field setting. The way that he got out. Who was that? I think it was Santner. I think it was the way he got out Santner, or it was Tom Latham. I can't remember, but it was either one of them. And a few deliveries before that, he kept bowling quite full and quite fast, and wasn't really changing it up. Changed it up, bowled a short, sort of slower one. It went straight up out to into the deep, and he got a wicket. So he's learning, he's getting better, and you think how far he's come in the last 4 or 5 years. It's phenomenal. And again, he's someone who's going to say, you might have to pick me at the World Cup selectors. Pandya, 1 for 70 off 7. Didn't bowl that well at all. Kuldeep, 2 for 43. Takua, 2 for 54. He makes things happen. And Washington Sundar, none for 50 off 7. So hey, that is how this one will finish off. Kiwis almost pull off the impossible. In fact, Michael Bracewell almost pulled off the impossible. I don't think anyone else really deserves much credit. Maybe him and Santner. That's probably about it. So, hey, second ODI, Saturday, the 21st of January. When the hell is that? Oh, 2 days. So in 2 days, we get the next match. And then 3 days later will be the third ODI. And then they play 3 T20s. And then, of course, man, woohoo, into the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Yeah, we're waiting for it. But we've still got some quality cricket to wait. But hey, they get the first win. Shout out to India. Shout out to an incredible Shubman Gill. Shout out to Bracewell for doing his work. And shout out to Mohammad Siraj for finishing the game off with some... Well, he didn't bowl the last over, but he did go a long way to bowling them to victory. So, hey, that'll cap it off. Comment down below your thoughts. Leave a like. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see everyone in the next one.